So, at PAX West, about a week ago, we went to Vreal, the office of Vreal, and we did an interview with three awesome people at Vreal: Lizzie, head of marketing, Ellie, product manager, and the CEO of Vreal, Todd. And we asked them a bunch of questions like what it's like to work at a VR startup like Vreal, but also what their hopes and plans are for their product, but also for those that are interested in working in the same kind of industry, like the VR industry. We asked them if they have any tips of that. All of this will be in this video coming up.
So we're going to do the interview with Todd. He's the CEO of Vreal. And yeah, we have some questions for him, and I'll say let's start.
Yes, all right. Maybe you could tell a bit about what you do at Vreal first?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for being here, guys. So I'm the founder and CEO. Started the company in 2015. It was just me and a couple of people thinking about VR. And I guess, you know, one of the things that I had seen over the years was I started to watch more and more YouTube and Twitch instead of watching television. And then at the same time I saw, you know, virtual reality. I got my first demo in 2014 at Valve. And so I saw these two things and I thought maybe there'll be a way to bring those together that would be something that we hadn't seen before. So that was kind of the first ideas. We had a lot of different ideas at first, and we got together in a little office in Seattle and sort of worked on our ideas for a few months, and then Vreal was born.
Yeah. How did you think of Vreal exactly? Is it like, how did you come up with the concept?
You know, one of the things that kind of struck me when we were thinking about it early was when people stream games today, they always assume that a game is on a flat screen in front of them, right? And that's of course how we've always watched games, and then how we've always watched other people play games. And the minute you put on a headset, you suddenly aren't in this world where the game is on a flat screen in front of you. It's around you, it's 360 degrees, it's immersive. When you move your head, you can see, you can look around a corner. And of course, when you try and translate that experience back to the flat screen, it loses something, right? So you guys do a really good job on YouTube of bringing that experience to the flat screen. But at some point in the future, everyone's going to have a VR headset. All gamers will have them, and they're going to want to put on their VR headset and be in a stream with you, right? So that was kind of the genesis of it. Of course, it's easy to say, well, we should make it so that, you know, the streams are fully immersive. Technically, that's a very hard thing to do, right? Traditionally, people have used video to solve that technical challenge, and we don't. We use a different technology that we created ourselves that basically feels like when I'm watching a Cas and Chary stream, I'm actually in the stream with you, you know, and I'm interacting with my friends, which is very different from, you know, just watching a flat video.
Yeah, Vreal is really amazing tech. We were really a fan of the technique, and just being able to show VR in that way is just incredible.
Yeah, we think so. I mean, it took us a lot of development. You know, there was a good 2 years of development before we really had a product. We had a lot of demos. You know, we used to consider we always just working on, you know, development and demos and things like that. This year, actually getting a product out on Steam has been really super exciting. So it's been great to be able to actually have a product where, you know, people can tell us on Steam, hey, what do you like about Vreal? And they tell us exactly what they like and what they want. And so that's been really, really good for us here.
Maybe we could, we want to know a little bit about your background as well. What's your background with games?
So actually, strangely enough, I started writing video games as a teenager back in Australia. It was a long time ago. If you Google my name and go back a long time, you'll find these games I wrote. And I sold them to a guy locally for a very small amount of money, because I didn't really know what I was doing. And I was literally like 16. And he sold them all around the world, unbeknownst to me. He licensed them to other companies. And so then years later, I go back and I was like, wow, I wonder if anyone has like saved one of those games. And sure enough, those games are out there. And he sold them like in the UK and stuff. Some of them still have my name on them. Some of my name was removed. One of them, they removed my name, but I looked in the instructions. I was like, this seems so familiar. And then I went through my files and I looked. I found this old piece of paper. I was like, it was the same instructions. It was a game that I had created. They just took my name off it. So, I did. You know, I've always been a gamer since I was very young, and wrote video games. I started, you know, doing software when I was very young, and then I went off and did more kind of enterprise computing for most of my career. And then about 10 years ago, I started to get kind of bored with that and wanted to do something kind of more interesting. So I got back into games, and that led me to work at Unity, which is the game engine company that a lot of VR games are created with. And that, so I had a great time there and got to meet a lot of game developers and learn a lot more about the industry, and then also get more of a technical insight into how games are created. And that, along with Dan, my CTO, that kind of gave us the insight into how we can create something like Vreal. So it's been a long journey, but it's all experience that's been pretty good. And we've been fortunate to be in Seattle, which is a super gaming friendly, place to be, and there's lots of great people. So we've been lucky to build a good team. Yeah.
Awesome. And how did you get into VR actually?
I had done some early demos of VR and thought it was kind of interesting. And then one day in 2014, I got a call from Valve, and the Unity office in Bellevue was across the road from Valve's office. And they said, hey, come over and see something secret. And I was like, oh. When Valve calls and says, come over and see something secret, I was there like 30 seconds later. So I went over and I saw a demo of what was going to be the Vive. And when I went to put it on, I was still a little bit skeptical, put it on, and then I realized like half an hour had gone past and I was doing something in some other world. I completely forgot that I was in a room in an office in Bellevue. And it was one of the early demos they had, but it was the first one that had room scale, and it had motion track controllers. And that was kind of a breakthrough for me. And then at the end of the demo, they said, oh, by the way, we're going to announce this in 6 months as a product. Wow. And then I was like, wow, this is super exciting. And I think, I've been a gamer all my life, and I think for other gamers as well, we've always wanted to get more into the game worlds that we love so much, right? So we've got bigger screens, and we've got surround sound, and we've got haptics on our joysticks and all these things. And VR is kind of the endpoint of that, right? If you really, really love this game world and you really want to spend time in it, VR is a great way to be there. So seeing that, I think, was super exciting. The other thing I guess I realized, and it's certainly come true, is it's going to take a while. It's not something that's just going to happen overnight. I think gamers are excited about VR, but we still need better headsets. We still need better games. There's lots of great things coming. There's people like yourselves that help to evangelize it. A lot of gamers still don't really know VR. It's a little bit expensive, still. So all those things need to happen, but just have to be patient, and those things will come.
Where do you think VR will be at in 2 years?
I think we're going to see another crop of great headsets, and I think the most important thing is we'll see great games. So I think the most important thing with the headsets is they're still a little bit awkward to set up. There's a lot of cables and things like that. That's getting better and better. We were talking earlier about the new NVIDIA cards now have a single connector that you can just connect one wire to your VR headset instead of like 3 different wires. And that just seems like a simple thing, but for a lot of people that aren't technical, that's actually a pretty big barrier, all the cabling and the connectivity. The software's got a lot better in terms of, if you remember when Steam VR and Oculus used to be kind of hard to use, and now the software is a lot better, so I think that will continue. But most importantly, people need great games, right? And so what's been really interesting to see is there's these great games like we were talking earlier about Beat Saber, and games that we have on Vreal like Super Hot and Arizona Sunshine and Surgeon Simulator and Tilt Brush. None of those games are from big gaming companies. They're all from pretty small independent teams. So it's really cool because it's a new opportunity for people to be the next Valve or the next Riot or the next Blizzard, coming from something new. I think those existing companies will bring things to VR as well, but I think a lot of it is going to come from probably a couple of developers, maybe not even, that you've heard of before, working in a different country, that just come up with something really a great idea, and that will be the start of something big. Yeah. So, you just have to be patient. You can never predict these things. But I think everyone here is passionate about games and VR. We see where it's going.
We're all believers here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to Vreal.
Yep.
Can you tell us a bit about the technique behind it?
Yeah. So effectively, what we're doing inside the game engine, we're capturing everything that's happening when you guys are playing, say, Gorn, right? You're in there doing things. We're actually our code is inside the game engine, capturing all the transforms, all the audio that's playing, and capturing what you're doing and also what you're saying. And then the trick is, okay, now I want to be in there with you, either live or after the event. So what Vreal does is then we have this stream of information. It's not a video, but you can think of it as kind of like a video, right? It describes a scene basically. That then is transmitted to all the people that are watching, and then also their avatars are inserted into the scene. And so you could be streaming Gorn, and then Ali and Lizzie and I can feel like we're standing in the same space as you. Our machines are not running Gorn. They're rendering everything. It looks like Gorn, but it's not actually Gorn. And then, of course, we have the real-time social interaction because we have avatars and we can move and we can speak, and all those kind of social things come with it. So, there was a lot of work just to get that to work, very performant, and make it feel, very smooth and not have any bugs and things like that. It's a lot of data that you're moving around. So it's still, we're still finding out where we can improve performance and things like that. But the technology works pretty well. People seem to enjoy the experience. Immediately when you put them in, they feel like, oh, I'm not watching a video. I'm not stuck in one position. I'm actually in the game. And of course, when someone else is a giant panda or a cat, it's funny and you want to high-five them and all that kind of stuff. So it brings that social element, which I think is a big part of why, especially with Twitch and YouTube, there's a big social component to those platforms as well. It's a different kind of social component because I feel like I'm physically standing there with you and we're talking, we're not typing. But yeah, it seems to work. I mean, I remember when we gave our first demos to some of our early investors in 2016, we went down to GDC and we set up a big room and we gave all these crazy demos, and people forget that they're in a headset, but you could see they're really having fun. You could tell people really enjoying it, even though those people are not really gamers per se. The minute you put a gamer in there, immediately they feel at home and they're moving around because they're used to moving around in games. So they immediately have that kind of feeling of, oh, this is cool. I'm in a different world and I'm doing something social. So that was kind of the first hints that we saw that we had something that was really cool. And it's come a long way since then.
Yeah. All right. So what are your plans for Vreal in the future?
We've been very customer driven this year. So getting out into early access, every Steam review we read, every comment we read, every tweet we read. People ask us for, specific things. One of the things I would, joke about is in the past, when we were working on stuff before we were on Steam, it's hard to determine the priority. Should we do this? Should we do that? Should we work on this? Now it's really easy. People have asked us for more games, and so that is our number one priority, is to add more games. So you guys, we've already talked about some of the upcoming games, which people will see coming soon. But we already have, we just added Tilt Brush and we added blocks. So we wanted to add things that maybe are in the same sphere. They're entertaining and they're creative, but they're not games per se, and that's worked pretty well. I think we've already got some really good content, people doing cool stuff in Tilt Brush and blocks. What's really cool about Tilt Brush is, Tippitat's stream where he draw the giant Gundam, I would never know how to do that. So actually being able to see someone do it up close and hear him talking about how he did it, that's a really cool thing that obviously you see on Twitch and YouTube, and we wanted to have that in Vreal as well. But I can walk around it and look at it and get that full experience. So those kinds of things have been really good. So yeah, love to get feedback. People want to give us, hit us on social media, Vreal Official, make a comment on the Steam page, post a review. We read all those things, and that really kind of drives what we're doing. People want to do more things inside VR. They want to do more kind of social cool things. They want different avatars. All those things are on the roadmap for us. Yeah.
All right, I love hearing that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and where do you want Vreal to be at?
Yeah, I really think the secret to this kind of platforms, when you look at YouTube and Twitch, which in many ways have similar elements to us, the secret is people like you, is really creators that people find. This is a different kind of media now. It's not the traditional media that our parents grew up with, where there was someone on TV that was a movie star or a newscaster, and you were supposed to relate to them in some fashion. Now it's become people that are more authentic and they're more passionate about and maybe more specialized, because even 10 years ago there wasn't really a lot of this kind of content around. Now if I really like VR, I can watch your channel, right? And I can really say, wow, I love you guys, you know, you do really cool stuff, and every couple of days there's a new piece of content. So it's that more kind of authentic feeling. It's maybe not going to draw millions of people right now, but you draw a small audience of people, and they're more passionate, right? They're very passionate. You guys see this in the comments on your videos and your streams. So that's really what we want to kind of nurture. We want to nurture really great creators that can find a way to express themselves. And every time someone comes onto the platform, they show us something different, you know. So you guys do a lot of cool variety streams. You often stream together, which is really fun, and it's a different kind of interaction. You know, we have people, I was watching Euro the other day, and he's doing a speed run, and then we have some people that are more comedy streamers. Jebro is always hilarious, you know, the things that he was doing in Gorn. So, you know, different styles, and so we want to make sure that we have lots of different sorts of content for people. So when you come to Vreal, if you're, you know, you want to see the latest game, you want to see someone who's really good at it, you want to see something that's more funny, you want to see something more creative, all those different things will be there. VR can be as big as, you know, any other video gaming platform. So there's no reason Vreal couldn't be as big as a Twitch or a YouTube or something like that. If you look at YouTube, the majority of content on there, it's games. So if you really, you know, are passionate about VR and you think that a big chunk of the gaming industry is going to VR, at some point, you know, there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah.
So.
And you never know. Maybe you become the YouTube of VR.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, and maybe last one. Any tips for people who would like to start working in the VR industry?
You know, it's still pretty early in VR. So I think it's mostly people that want to work in small companies like Vreal, where, you know, 24 people, still pretty small. You have to be really kind of in a place where, you know, companies like this are. In the US, there's a lot of companies. But the nice thing is a lot of the tools that you need to kind of understand VR, things like Unity, they're free and you can download them. Yeah. So I think if you're more of a technical or creative person, I would highly recommend, you know, if you have a VR headset, then grab something like Unity or Unreal, play around with it, see what you can create. That we have a VR meetup here in Seattle that has a couple of thousand people on the list, and, you know, a lot of those people are just people that are curious about VR, kind of passionate about it on the side. And, you know, if you look around the office here, there's a lot of people here that I met at that meetup because they just had a shared interest in VR, and they ended up working. So yeah, you know, meet other like-minded people. I think the great thing about VR is the community is still very small. It's very supportive of each other. And if you have some skills that you bring, whether it's creative or technical or, you know, whatever it is, I think there's room for everybody. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your time. And also thank you so much for having us here.
Great to have you guys in Seattle. Thanks.
So I'm going to have this interview with Ellie. She's a product manager of Vreal, and I have some nice questions for you. So first of all, you're a product manager, and what is exactly your role here? Like, what do you do?
So I work with the designers and engineers basically on the vision of the product. So kind of like I will think of ideas of like things that, and I work with content creators in our community on kind of deciding what things we prioritize, and then working with the designer on kind of carrying it out. So it's like we come up with the idea, we make like prototypes and stuff, and then work with engineers on how we can get it to work in Vreal.
Oh yeah, good. And how did you get into VR? Like, why Vreal of all companies?
Well, so my background is actually in community management. I started working in esports at previous companies like ArenaNet and Motiga, and I really enjoyed doing community, and I started at Vreal doing community as well. But streaming and like YouTube content has always been something that I've loved watching, and I've been like an active part of at previous companies. I was always kind of driving those initiatives at my previous companies. So when Vreal reached out to me about the community manager position here, I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. You know, like a streaming platform for VR games. Like, I had actually not tried VR before interviewing at Vreal, but when I tried it, I was like blown away. I tried like just the blue, you know, the one with the whale, and then I did Tilt Brush, and honestly, Tilt Brush was the one that like totally sold me because I have an art background, like I do art on the side, so I was just like, you're gonna have to tear me out of it. Like part of the interview process was to put me in VR and just to see if it was something that like I enjoyed. And I was like, you're gonna have to take me away from this because I could literally spend hours like just drawing in VR. So yeah, that's kind of what got me into VR in general. And since then, I've just been trying all different kinds of stuff. It's been really awesome, like to see like just VR in general grow as a community, but also as like a platform.
Yeah, I totally believe that as well. Yeah, it's really nice. And you say you have something like with streaming and also like an art background. So what are exactly your hobbies? Like you are like working hard here at Vreal, but what do you do yourself like next to that?
Well, I like to do spray art on the side. Yeah, thanks. I like to make stencils and stuff. And actually, since trying Tilt Brush, I've been really interested in like 3D modeling.
Okay.
Like it actually, I have like a better, like bigger appreciation for just digital art in general now, like having worked here, because actually one of the things that I also do here is like, I'm kind of a generalist actually, like I do like graphic design stuff, I do like branding, and I also work with Lizzie on marketing stuff, so it's like, I'm kind of all over the place, but I really enjoy that because it means that I get to kind of be a part of like every aspect of Vreal. But yeah, like I've been really getting into like the 3D modeling stuff. So it's like I've been like making like Tilt Brush streams in Vreal, and I really enjoy doing that. So it's been great. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, because like Tilt Brush is one of the newer games for Vreal, right? So yeah. Are you one of the reasons they have put like Tilt Brush in there now?
I definitely have been pushing for Tilt Brush because I just like the idea of these like expert artists, and I'm not talking about myself. Like there's other artists like Tipitat, for example, made this crazy like stream of this whole process. It was like an hour long, but it was like so interesting to see his process, and I think that Tilt Brush is so like watchable, like as like an art, like someone that appreciates art and like the skill level of people that make stuff in Tilt Brush. And also having done some Tilt Brush now myself, I understand like kind of how difficult it can be sometimes to like get like the right shape and stuff, because 3D is just so like you really have to like stick your head in places and look at it from every angle, because you know your viewers are going to be watching from wherever they want. Yeah. So yeah, it's just been really fun to like kind of explain like the process of all that. But yeah, I definitely push for Tilt Brush.
Yeah, because it's really amazing that you can actually now with Vreal you can just go into there and just walk around the painting yourself as well. Because it's always different just watching it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the same experience, so that's really cool that you guys did that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it as well. And something that you would like to see, because like Tilt Brush is something new you added. What would you like to see in Vreal like for the future?
Oh man, I'm like looking at our marketing. It's like, honestly, like I might be biased about this, but I'd love to see a VR esport. I think that Vreal really caters to kind of like the like shoutcasters, you know, being in VR with the players is just such a unique experience. And because the way that Vreal works, the fact that you can teleport around and see it from all angles, it really just adds like a unique level of like to the watching experience. Is like very immersive. And so I'd love to see like an esport. I think like just a competitive game, you know, would be really great.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Let me see if I have some more questions that I didn't ask yet. I would say, what's the most challenging part of your work?
Oh, honestly, the VR aspect of it, like there's a lot of challenges when it comes to the user experience. Like you want to make sure that you don't make people sick, and like you want to make sure that people enjoy being in VR with others, you know, because we try to keep things like harassment and also just accessibility in mind. You know, a lot of our controls in Vreal are you can use either hand for, and we have like we try to make sure that the core experience is accessible by everyone. And I mean, who isn't like just randomly playing and have like, you just see like one of your hands just like drift off and you're like, oh, there goes my tracking.
Like,
but there's, you know, other reasons too. Like we want everyone to be able to use it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just keeping those things in mind and making sure that, you know, anyone can enjoy it and making sure that it makes sense. Like, because because of the way VR is like very physical, so you can't really approach it the like traditionally like 2D mediums. It's not the same kind of user experience, so you have to keep things in mind, like the presence of someone, like how immersed are they? Are they going to feel like this is going to break their immersion? Are they gonna is it going to make them sick? All those things are definitely the more challenging aspects of my job.
I get that. You're doing great though.
Thanks.
And what would you say to people who just are starting in VR? What would your what would your help be, like your tips to them, like what should they do?
Honestly, just playing off of what I just said, like approaching it, being humble, I think, and also doing your research, like looking, like trying other games out, seeing what other devs have done that you like can be inspired from, I think is really important, especially because VR is such a new medium. Like we're all still kind of learning about, and this actually is something that I really enjoy about working in VR, is it's such a new space that you really have the opportunity to kind of explore and try new things and see what works, see what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the developers like to collaborate with each other and kind of share ideas and stuff, and so it's been really like awesome to be able to do that. So that would be some more advice, is to talk to other developers and see what kinds of things worked for them and what didn't, and try other experiences, but also to experiment and give yourself like the space to try things and fail fast.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because then you're going to get new VR experiences, things that aren't out there yet, and then just like Vreal.
Yeah. And having like people in your community trying it and really listening to their advice and feedback is so important, because ultimately they're going to be the ones that are using it the most, and you want them to feel like it's the most comfortable and best experience.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think, and that's all the questions I have for now. You answered everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any other questions, so that's it, guys. So this was Ellie from Vreal, and I hope you liked the interview.
Okay, guys, we're here with Lizzie, marketing of Vreal, and we're gonna ask her a couple of questions. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Vreal?
Yeah, so head of marketing. It's kind of an all-encompassing title. It covers like event planning and PR, so public relations. Publicity for Vreal. I also run our ambassador program, so you guys love working with Vreal ambassador. So it's kind of like a partnership program for our streamers who use the platform. Gosh, what else? Social media management. I mean, basically anything marketing related, I'm doing it for Vreal. So.
I see. That's a lot, by the way.
It's a lot.
We're also at the party that that Lizzie has organized. Which we have a lot of footage of as well. So we're gonna walk around in just a bit.
Yeah.
That party is a lot of fun. But can you tell us a bit about what your normal day looks like when you have to organize a party like this?
Oh my god, organizing an event like this takes weeks of planning. I mean, you have to like find a venue, right? Figure out what the best day is to do it. Organize the event invites. You've got to figure out sound. Are we gonna have a DJ? Is it just gonna like be a playlist? Figure out catering, a bartender. The most complicated part though is getting all of the developers together. Like we have a lot of game devs that are here, a lot of VR developers. Luckily Seattle has a lot of local VR developers here. So Drifter Entertainment, they're local to Seattle. They're showing off Gunheart. We also have Polyart. They're showing off Moss. I love Moss. I love it so much. And HTC Vive actually has an office here, so they're showing off their wireless adapter for the HTC Vive Pro, which is really cool. So it's getting all those developer partners together and having demo stations for them. So I worked with Alienware, actually. They provided the demo equipment, and then HTC Vive also provided us with loaner Vives, because that's a lot of equipment for just like one event. And then like social media promotion, it's like an insane amount of work. Like, people just show up to a party and they're like, cool, this is great, super fun. But like weeks and weeks of planning have gone into it. So
how do you do that? You're like doing this almost alone, right?
Alone is a good word. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's okay. No, the Vreal team, it really feels like a family. Like, we all kind of like pitch in and help. So earlier today, like, we had, you know, some of our top engineers, like, you know, putting up pipe and drape and like helping me connect demo stations and stuff. So everyone like really pitches in when we need to, and everyone like cares a lot about the product, which is really nice. So I can always count on them. Yeah. So I'm not totally alone. Like,
that's true.
Everyone pitches in. Yeah.
We also feel the vibe of Vreal when we're there. Everyone's so passionate. Everyone's helping each other, and it really does feel like a family when we're there.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're like a small startup. It's like maybe 20-ish people, but yeah, like, we're all like really good friends, and we all love VR. We all love games, and we really want the platform to do well, and we're excited about it. So I don't know, it's just everyone wants it to do well, so that kind of creates that atmosphere, I think.
I think that's awesome to see, and I think that's also great for the product itself. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. You can totally tell. Especially when we have people like you guys like using our platform and then saying like, oh man, it'd be really cool if you could implement this. You can actually go directly to that engineer's desk and just say like, here's an idea we have, can we make this work? And then they like jam on it and they like bring it out, and it's like super fast. So it's good. Yeah.
All right. So can you tell us a bit about what the most challenging part is working at a VR startup like Vreal?
Yeah. I think for me, from what I can tell, is just I mean, we are a small team, which is nice. It like creates that family atmosphere, but I think we want to get a lot done, but we don't have the hours in the day to like do everything. So it's prioritizing like how are we gonna implement like streamer tools or like recording stuff that people like, features that you guys want, while also like adding new games all the time. Like, that can be a very tough like balancing act. But I mean, we do our best, you know. We try to like think about, okay, what do we want to accomplish in like this 3-month time frame, and like we're gonna focus our goals on this, and then maybe in the next 3 months we'll like hit these other things that we want to do. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is like wanting to do a lot and not having the time to do it. But yeah, we're really excited, and everyone works super hard. So I don't know, we figured it out.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what would be the most rewarding part as working as Vreal?
Oh my gosh. I think once we have the live streaming functionality, I think that'll be really cool to be able to join someone in VR as they're playing a VR game. Like, that
would be amazing.
That would like, I mean, that's where we're going. It just hasn't been implemented yet, but seeing more people use the platform, and actually just tonight I was getting stuff ready for the event, and I ran into some guys who heard about us but had not actually tried Vreal yet, and they tried it and they ran over to me and they were like really excited. They were like, this is what VR needs, is like the ability to like share VR in this way, and like seeing them get super jazzed and have like ideas about content they want to make in VR, like that made my night. Like, it was just, that's what it's all about. So yeah.
Okay. So actually, I was also wondering what got you into VR?
It's actually a really funny story. I was dating a guy who
emphasis on was,
yes. But he had an Oculus Rift dev kit, so I don't think he was actually supposed to let me like see the Oculus Rift dev kit, but I did. Anyway, but I tried, I put on this headset. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, VR, like, what do you mean, like Virtual Boy? Like, I don't know, what is this?
Yeah.
And I played a game, and the name escapes me. It was like a French name, Alibet maybe, or something, or it was like I'm probably getting the name wrong, but it was like a film noir kind of vibe. And you put on the headset, and you're in this bar, and like you're looking around, and there's like rain falling, and I just remember feeling like so immersed. I know that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but I was like in the virtual environment, and I like was blown away just by that. But then I looked down and I had robot arms, and I got chills. I was like, oh my god, I'm a robot. This is so cool. And then I turned and looked, and you could see like the rain falling on like a window pane, and my reflection was a robot. Ooh. And it's a very strange feeling to look at what should be your reflection, and it's like a virtual avatar. And that just blew my mind. And I was like, I took the thing off, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, this is gonna change everything. Like, I will never be able to get out of one of these things. So that happened. And then I actually got a call from an old boss of mine who was heading up marketing at Vreal, and he needed a PR person. And so I went over, and I didn't really have any expectations, but I got the Vreal demo, and I was just blown away. And I was like, I 100% want to be a part of this. Let's go. And here we are, 2.5 years later.
Wow.
So yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
I love hearing this background story.
I just the chills. The first VR experiences are so cool.
Imagine, right?
Yeah.
So one last question.
Yeah.
Where do you see Vreal? Where do you want Vreal to be at in 2 years?
2 years. Oh man. I want to see thousands of users, if not more than that, using our platform every day. I want to go onto Steam and then fire up our Vreal app. I want to just see a ton of different recordings or streams that people, hopefully streams that's live that I could just join, and I want to be able to call up my sister in North Carolina and say, Cas and Chary just did a new gameplay, or they're live right now playing a VR game, let's go watch them. And then we're both virtual avatars in the same space together, and that would be mind-blowing to me, and would be amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where we're going.
Yeah. We're also very excited to see it happening.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This is really weird for me because it's marketing. I'm usually putting other people in the interview seat. So if this is awful, sorry, I'm awful.
But no, it is great to hear something like that from someone like you. It's awesome to hear, I think, right? Cool. So let's walk around in the party.
Yeah.
That Lizzie organized. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. So this is the rooftop area. We're up here because it's quiet and cool. Let's go. That's our CEO over there. You can say hi. Hi, Todd.
Hey, no cameras over here. We didn't sign release. Hi, Cas and Chary.
They make it really loud, folks. So we got a photo booth over here.
Todd and Ellie, thanks so much for your time. You guys were amazing. Thanks for the great answers as well. And everyone, if you have more questions, just drop them down in the comments below. We will try to get the answers for you. Just do it. And let us know what you thought of the interview as well. Why not? And yeah, I'll say shout out to our patrons. You guys are amazing and thanks for your help. And if you want to explore more virtual reality with Cas and I, slam that subscribe button down there. And we are Cas and Chary VR, and we say VR on.